KA Radio warmly greets you. We, those living in a society considered progressive, civilized, and modern, see many who have achieved brilliant successes in career, wealth, and fame. Yet we often find ourselves falling into a black hole of fatigue, boredom, and stress. At some point, we may have asked ourselves, why are we successful, wealthy, but still unhappy? Today, I borrow stories from the book The Little Prince to analyze and deeply explore this issue together. Please focus on what I'm about to say. If you truly understand, a new door will open, leading us to the path of genuine and true happiness. No matter how much time passes, truths and rightful principles always retain their lasting value. There is a saying, some books, even after 70 or 80 years, still retain their youthful and fresh essence. This saying seems to have been born for The Little Prince, a timeless masterpiece. Not just a fairy tale for adults, but also a profound journey that touches the heart. As I turned each page, I felt my heart resonate with every word. Beneath the light, innocent veneer lie profound layers of meaning, revealing human desires and nature in the adult world. It is not merely a delicate book with simple words, but a gentle remedy for the soul, helping us rediscover the purity we've unintentionally left behind. For the deepest truths often reside in the simplest hearts. The Little Prince lives on a small planet called B612, a place with only 2 active volcanoes and a graceful, proud flower. Each day, he diligently cares for and maintains his tiny world, cleaning the volcanoes and pulling out baobab seedlings. The seeds of baobabs, carried accidentally by the wind, can grow into a colossal threat. If not removed in time, they will grow, encroach, and destroy everything. The story of the baobab tree makes me reflect on myself. In life, how many baobab trees do we let silently take root? Clothes worn only once or twice but filling our wardrobes, books bought but never read, discounted items we don't actually need. All these things, seemingly small and harmless, gradually weigh down our living space and our minds. Just as the Little Prince persistently tidies his planet, we, too, need to learn how to gently let go of unnecessary things. Only when the soul is purified can the light of simplicity and happiness shine through, guiding us back to ourselves. In psychology, there is a concept called the Diderot effect, which reminds us of the endless cycle of consumer desires. When buying a new item, people often have a tendency to continue searching for things that match to achieve an imagined harmony. For example, a new outfit may lead to buying shoes or a handbag to complement it. A newly purchased sofa may inspire a complete rearrangement of the living room for cohesion. And so, we get swept up in an unending chain of actions. In an era where material desires burn like a smoldering fire, it's easy to be drawn into the trend of accumulation, upgrading, and clinging to external possessions. Rarely do we find the stillness to pause and reflect on simplifying or letting go. The items we own not only take up physical space, but also drain our mental energy. Author Akirawa Mayumi, in the book Minimalist Living, once said, "Owning something means that we have to expend our energy on it." This truly gives us pause for thought. Does a wonderful life lie in the number of things we possess, or in the moments that genuinely bring joy to our hearts? If every day our hearts are constantly covered by material desires, then the small joys and simple happiness right in front of us will be missed. Instead, we keep chasing distant things, only to end up exhausted, tired, and empty. To rediscover the true essence of life, perhaps we need to learn how to shed from the outside, just like removing the baobab saplings in the story of the Little Prince. Let's gently eliminate what is unnecessary so that our minds have enough space for peace, tranquility, and true happiness. For true fulfillment does not come from what we own, but from how we know how to appreciate and live fully in each moment of our own. Letting go of desires. Before arriving on Earth, the Little Prince traveled through 6 small planets, where he met 6 strange adults. On the first planet, he met a lonely king who ruled over a world where he was the only one in control. This king issued decrees to subjects whom he had imagined, as if he had nailed himself to the throne, holding the scepter tightly, immobile like a living statue. This sight frightened the Little Prince, who quickly said his goodbyes. On another planet, he met a quirky businessman who spent the whole day at his desk, writing receipts and locking them in drawers. This businessman boasted that he was counting the stars, as if the stars in the sky were his property, deposited in the bank. He was immersed in the desire to accumulate, living like a counting machine, forever trapped in the cycle of numbers and paperwork. Whether king or businessman, these people are no different from us, those who sometimes lock themselves in bottomless pits of desire. It is the desire for power, money, or fleeting fame that drives us into an endless race. Once caught in this whirlwind, a person will never feel truly fulfilled, constantly running without knowing what they are searching for. Isn't the greatest tragedy of life found in this? When desire goes beyond control, it turns us into moths, burning ourselves in the fire of fame and wealth. We are endlessly swept away, never reaching the destination. And when we are exhausted and weary, we suddenly realize that we have forgotten the present moments, overlooked the simple and meaningful experiences waiting right along our path. Only when we let go of endless desires can we stop to appreciate the beauty of life, allowing our hearts to rest and fill with peace rather than with pressure and aimless yearning. The world around us is always abundant if we know how to cherish it, instead of constantly searching for things beyond our reach. Letting go of unworthy relationships. When the little prince arrived on Earth, he landed in a quiet desert. For many days, he saw no one. The loneliness made him shout, but the only reply was the echo of his own voice. To escape the emptiness, he tried to open his heart, sharing his thoughts with anyone he met. However, in response to that sincerity, there were only disappointments. He met a snake, but the snake was cold and wanted to eat him. He shared his past with a railway man, but he ignored him. He met a vendor selling thirst-quenching pills, but the man only wanted to trick him into buying his products. These strangers, indifferent and self-centered, seemed to only care about their own interests, and no one truly cared about him. It wasn't until he met the fox that everything changed. Amid the vast desert, they watched the sunset together and exchanged heartfelt words. The fox taught the little prince a valuable lesson. What is truly valuable cannot be seen with the eyes, but can only be felt with the heart. With the fox, for the first time, he felt sincerity and kindness. The loneliness in his heart melted away, as if the barren desert suddenly bloomed. We, too, sometimes resemble the little prince, lost in meaningless relationships. Sometimes we search for someone to fill the void, but after scrolling through our contacts, we quietly turn off our phones. Those friends who once stood by us through countless joyful moments now suddenly become strangers. Over time, we realize that true friends, the ones who understand and walk with us, are very few. Instead of blindly trying to expand our social network, it is better to focus our energy on those who truly deserve it. The sincerity of 2 or 3 close friends is always worth more than 1,000 times the noise of fleeting relationships. Because happiness does not come from the quantity of people around us, but from the quality of the hearts we can rely on. For a peaceful heart. When saying goodbye to the fox, the little prince continued his journey through the vast desert. The dust and the scorching wind felt like they were burning him, but he didn't complain, nor did he need to open his eyes to face the harshness. One day, he met a pilot, a man who was also lost, stranded in the desert with a broken airplane. The pilot worried incessantly, his mind filled with grim scenarios. The engine could not be fixed, the water was running out, the flight was delayed, and a host of responsibilities remained unfinished. The helplessness and fears weighed him down, leaving him physically and mentally drained. But the little prince, on the other hand, was not worried. He was calm like a flowing stream, smiling up at the star-filled sky and talking with the pilot about marvelous adventures. It was this tranquility that led them to find water and overcome danger in simple happiness. Our lives are the same. We often face 2 arrows. The first arrow is shot from the outside world, the difficulties and failures that we cannot avoid. But the second arrow is even more dangerous, because it is one that we shoot into ourselves. It is called negative emotions, the complex thoughts that trap us in a vortex of anxiety and regret. The psychologist Arthur once said, "No one lives in a completely objective world. Life is not really complicated. It is our minds that make it so." The step from simplicity to complexity is a small one, but the journey from complexity back to simplicity always requires awareness and courage. If you want your heart to be truly at peace, learn how to let go. Let go of excessive thoughts, unnecessary desires, and worries that weigh down your soul. At that moment, you will find your true self, a pure heart, a free mind. Clear away the fog of expectations, materialism, or negative emotions. Let the little prince inside you guide you, rediscovering simple joy and tranquility deep within your soul. Because in the end, happiness doesn't come from grand things, but from the peace you feel when you learn to appreciate yourself. Thank you for listening, and always cherish each step on this meaningful journey of self-development. If you find these reflections helpful, please give us a like and share them with those who need it. Follow us and turn on notifications so you don't miss the latest videos from KA Radio.